completely. David, what did you make of the performance tonight, and how much of this? A lot of fans have called in, a lot of Chelsea fans in the comment section are putting this down to the continual kind of meddling and changing of positions and whatnot from your manager.
You're gonna have to forgive me. I only watched the second half, so I train and I have life. So don't at me. From what I saw in the second half, it was just like we were really good at holding the ball, but we can't score. Shock, surprise. We have the same issues we always have. So again, why everyone's shocked, confused, I don't understand. If you just listen and understand what's going on at our club, this will make sense. Because again, to expect consistency from these players, you are asking for the wrong thing because they are all 21. All of them are 21. And if you really want to say, oh yeah, but Thiago Silva's 39 and Sterling's 30, like two players cannot change the mentality of a whole squad. It's not going to happen, right? We need more experience in the squad, and it's that simple. And nothing will change in terms of having consistent performances until we do so. So that's the first thing. I'm not Poch out because getting in a new manager doesn't solve our issues. So being Poch out doesn't make sense to me. But questions do have to be asked because I think in this game the mentality was wrong because I felt we went into the game going it's Middlesbrough, we'll be fine, when the mentality should have been let's blitz them, let's go 100% and let's get 2 or 3 goals up, relax. We went into the game relaxed like we were already 3-0 up. So that's my main issue was the mentality and the way the players played. But Poch is not at fault for Palmer missing sitters. Poch is not at fault for Madrid not being able to take a touch. Poch is not at fault for Caicedo not following his man when he's followed him 90% of the way. Like, there are some things where we have to look at our players and go, why are you not doing this on your own? You don't have to be told you're a grown adult. And in case anyone hasn't realised, we've had the same issues for the past 4 years with 5 or 4 different managers. So this isn't just a Poch issue. This is a Chelsea mentality issue at the club right now. So it's that simple. It's purely, and you can like shake your head, but this is not a Poch
You're
issue.
wrong because you're wrong. You saying Mudryk taking a touch, right?
I'm not wrong.
You're saying Mudryk taking a touch is not his fault. It is his fault when he's thrown into a game with no plan or any organization of how
You're
to
telling
build
me
up
as a
play.
You're telling me as a professional footballer,
He's
you
a
get thrown
kid.
onto a field
Situation. Yes, he's a kid.
I know he's a kid. I know he's a kid. And my whole point is that to expect consistency, I get, but there was literally a play where the ball got passed to his foot directly and the ball's gone under it. Like, as a professional, that's just unacceptable. Right, regardless of any circumstance going on.
It's very easy for us to sit here and say he should take the touch better and he should do this better. The reality is, for 90 minutes, they don't know how to get the ball to the final third, and we see this time after time. And then, to make matters worse, the players that were actually looking fairly competent, Enzo and Noni, who actually looked like they were doing something, were the ones taken off for his favorite bum boys. Let's say it the way it is. He loves Sterling on the left-hand side, and he loves Gallagher because Gallagher runs. Caicedo is going to get a heart attack on the pitch because he's covering 3 positions by himself every time he's next to Gallagher. Gallagher, all he does is press like an ego presser. He doesn't even press intelligently. He vacates positions, running left, right, and center. And Poch is like, oh, he ran 13 kilometers today. This is great. But the reality is you need him to be more disciplined. And we've got a problem in this team. And Pochettino is one of the biggest issues. How is Disasi consistently playing when all you have to do is put Colwell at centre half and then use the left back you have on the bench? You have a left back on the bench. These kids aren't incompetent. It'll give you natural width and it'll give you a person that knows the position. Like, how has he not learned that Colwell struggles?
If Terry will tell you, 4 years I've said Conor Gallagher's not good enough. So the point is, I don't go on about Conor Gallagher because there's no point because he's gonna play. I don't think he's good enough, but there's nothing I can do about it. I don't choose the squad, so I'm not gonna go. I'm not going at like there are some players like I personally think Disasi's not good enough. But in the current state the squad's in, he's gonna have to keep playing, whether it's at centre half or whether it's at right back or whether it's at left back, because we just don't have enough players. Like, flat out we don't have enough because we're not going to throw Dylan Williams on. Dylan Williams is like 19 and he's only played like 5 games for Derby. We're not going to throw him on in a semi-final of the Carabao.
Then why is he on the bench?
Because if we need an option, he's there, and plus we need to fill out the bench. But you can't just. You're not going to
ridiculous
throw.
Because
you're not going to
what
throw
are we
him
meant
in.
to do now?
You just won't. How many managers do that? Like genuinely, how many managers have an 18-year-old kid who they just go, "Oh, we'll just throw him on." In a top 6 team, it doesn't happen. It genuinely doesn't happen.
No.
Like it doesn't.
We're not a top 6 team, and Colwell's consistently making mistakes, right, at left back, and we know why, because he's not mobile enough to play left back position. And I think we can both agree on that, right? Today, the same thing kept on happening. They were just playing it over his top and running the channels. So it's like, and now look, there's comments going, oh, Pochettino said it was a good performance. What planet was this a good performance? The opportunities that people are saying Palmer missed. Cool. Palmer missed chances. You missed chances. Man United missed 18 yesterday, most probably, based on the performance. But how many of those did we create? Like, what did we create? And that comes from patterns of play, or that comes from getting the ball and moving it. Like, surely he watched the game against Aston Villa this weekend. Surely he knew what Middlesbrough was going to do. The players were clueless. False 9. Like, what are we doing here, man? It's absolutely pathetic. Absolutely.
I agree. When I saw the lineup, I fully agree. Because when I saw the comments of Palmer can play striker, I was like, what are you talking about? Why didn't you just play your best position, your best player, or one of your best players this season in his best position, which has not been at striker? I fully agree with everything that everyone says. However, I still have an issue of people saying Poch out. I don't understand what your solution is to the problem. It's not if someone can come at me and say, I'm going to sack Poch and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to do that and then I'm going to solve the issue, by all means, like we can have that conversation. But all I hear is Poch out, and the reason is I don't like him. That's why.
No, but I didn't say that to you. I said going.
No, I'm not saying you personally. I'm just saying in general. When I've had conversations about it, these have been the things of. I literally sat here and had an argument with someone saying the reason they want Poch sacked is because he talks with pigeons. Like that's the level of argument I'm having to deal with. So, like, it's got. I need a solution to the problem before I switch.
But this squad, right? There is talent in there. I don't care what anyone says. We've seen it from Cole Palmer. We've seen it from Mudryk and Noni in moments. We know Sterling can get you 15 league goals, and he's on track this year to get you 15 league goals. But the midfield balance is so wrong. Like, it is gross misconduct to have £200 million players who are capable of playing. Like, Caicedo has no one around him for 50 yards. Last year, he couldn't get McAllister off his ass from 5 meters away. Now, all of a sudden, he has to look 50 yards before he passes a ball. Like, get someone in and around him so that you can do some kind of combination play and attract players towards you to create spaces. Like, Julien Laurent said it perfectly. He had Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar and made them look toothless. What do you expect with this Chelsea team?
Yep.
Like, and that's the truth. He made them look toothless, and now he's doing it at Chelsea. We have no plans.
I hear where you're coming from. Matty's with us as well here. What's your thoughts on this all? Where do you stand? I mean, we'll get on some of the players individually, but a lot of Chelsea fans tonight calling for Poch to be sacked. They're putting this on him. Do you agree with that, Matt?
Well, what's the point? I mean, Poch is only working with the tools he's been given by this ownership, right? We've spent a bill and we've made them look like 50p's worth. Like, what was inspiring? We've been having this conversation for months. We've spent a bill for nothing. We've got a crash. We haven't got a first team. It's a crash. What is the point? You knew that this type of team were going to come at Chelsea. They're going to run at the defence, and that's what they've done. Their inexperience, from the owners to the players that they've got, have cost it. I don't understand what any more we need to do. All this sacking Poch nonsense, great. Who are we going to get in? Who is this owner? Who is this? Yeah, who's going to take it? Who wants it?
Take the Bournemouth coach. Take the Gary O'Neill. They coach. I don't know what you're laughing at. They coach. This team is not coached.
Mate, can I ask you a question? Do you think it's acceptable that Bournemouth play better football than us?
Potter. Didn't work.
Yeah, no.
We tried it with Graham Potter. It didn't work. So that blows that theory. Why can't we get a world-class manager that actually knows what he's doing? I know, because this ownership don't want it.
Name me the world-class managers out there right now that you can get.
Well, there's Zidane for a start. There's quite a few others that are on.
Zidane, who doesn't want to work in England at all. Next.
There's somebody out there, right?
No.
I'd take Mourinho at the end of the season. I would take anybody at the moment.
Remove this world-class manager out of your mind. It's only Pep and Klopp, and they're not coming. Neither is Ancelotti. Okay, they are the only world-class managers.
So by that logic, then you'd be quite happy then to have a Thomas Frank that's never really won anything. So how are you going to? So how standards going to be improved? How are standards going to be improved?
But it's not about standards, mate.
Hang on.
Yep, no, but you start as you mean to go on.
This is what I love about Chelsea fans. You guys have accepted standards of poor league performances since 2017. You have not. This standards bullshit did not start with the new owners. It's been since 2017 when we've been crap in the league and haven't won it and accepted third and fourth like Arsenal. This standards bullshit it's just a cover to blame the owners for everything. Of course,
I'm sorry.
They told Poch to play Colwell at left back, to keep playing Gallagher, to play players out of position. We need a coach. It's as simple as that.
Antonio Conte.
Not come into it.
Sorry, but last time I checked, you had a go at Tuchel. Didn't he take us to 5 out of 6 finals? Is that not good enough for you?
Did he win them all?
He won 3 out of 6. So I understand your issue. So
my issue with Tuchel is that he didn't change either. He played Ziyech at right wing back in a Champions League game we lost. That was my issue.
Oh, how unforgivable!
It is actually.
How unforgivable!
Oh, by the way, he didn't want a midfielder because he didn't want a midfielder because he said Gallagher had Kante traits. So yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
The realistic issue.
My exact point is no. I get Andrew's point of he wants someone who can coach, but my issue is that if you are going to sack Poch, how are you going to fix that problem? And right now, there's no one as an option to fill in that hole. So you want to solve a problem by getting rid of something, but not plugging the hole you've made. So you're going to make another problem with not having a coach there.
Can I ask you a question? Do you not think? So do you think Poch is the only manager on this planet right now that is going to take the Chelsea job? You think Pochettino
in my opinion, no other manager is going to make our squad better. Who is?
But no one's saying no. But the thing is that with you know what? I think we agree. It's just I'm saying it in a different way. I think Poch, right, is most probably the best quality manager on paper at the moment that we could have right now. However, I think Poch at this moment in time is not coaching or showing anything worthy of keeping this job. Like, what is Poch actually doing with this team for us to say, you know what, he deserves more time? He's 10th. We're playing against low blocks and Preston 45. We saw 90 minutes of Preston 45 today. Yep. Like, genuinely. It looked clueless. And this is the problem where we actually struggle and everyone's just saying, well, we kind of have to keep him. We kind of have to keep him because who else is going to come in? You can't just take that approach. Gary O'Neill is making Cunha.
My issue is that when you look at our players, they all have good performances, just not all at the same time. So the thing of them being young players and not being consistent, you're not going to get all of them playing a consistent level of football all at the same time because they can't do it. They're not Cole Palmer. In my opinion, and I've said it for years, Terry will tell you, every young player has a finite amount of good games. I don't care who they are.
Yeah,
they have a finite amount of good games, right? So if Cole Palmer plays 4 really good games in a row, he's using up all those finite games. So in order for Poch to get the best out of every player every single time, like, it's not possible because they can't do it all at the same time.
Cole Palmer
from when he's come in to, but if you'd asked before this game, everyone would have said he's improved as a player since he's got here, right? But because of this performance, it's now like, oh, it's all doom and gloom. He doesn't improve anyone. That's not true.
But no
The
one's
point
saying
is
he doesn't. It's the
you can't
style of
extract
play.
it consistently. You can't extract it
But what do we
consistently.
do? How do we attack? Like, genuinely, I want to ask you a question. Are we a possession-based team that carves teams open, or are we a counter-attacking team? Because I don't know right now. Or maybe I just don't know football.
Neither.
We don't do either.
Maybe
We
I don't
don't
know
do
football.
either. We don't
Like,
do
genuinely, maybe
No, because again, we play really good football up to the final third, right? And we do that quite a lot. However, that issue of the final third has not just been a Poch issue; it has been a issue at this club for the past 5 years.
That's not. You say we play good football out.
Oh.
We don't play out the back effectively. He had Enzo at false 9 today.
I
There were moments where
didn't watch. I didn't watch the first half. I haven't seen that. I didn't see that bit.
But guys, look, the Poch argument we may come back to in a minute. I wanted to ask you about Caicedo tonight because I don't think he had the worst game in midfield ever. You can't be, as a defensive-minded midfielder, letting your runner go in a box.
No. Well, it's not
And
that. It's just, you just can't have average performances for a guy that's been brought for £115 million.
That's not his fault.
Yes, I know.
Wait, he was average today in your
eyes. He can't
eyes.
control the price tag, but if he's brought in for that amount of money, you're expecting above average performances consistently.
And he's had that for the past 5 or 6 games.
Exactly, man. Like, why is he even waffling right now?
Listen,
get back in a cave that you're in with Arsenal right now.
No, again, let him. He's coming to rattle us. He's coming to rattle us.
That's because this Caicedo bit didn't.
Don't let him do it. Right. My point is, this is my exact point. People don't watch us, right? People don't watch us. Like they barely watch us. They only watch some big games. They see 100 mil on Caicedo and they go, he therefore must be £100 million worth of player, but he's not. And everybody knows that. And like everyone goes like, you spent £1 billion on your squad, but our best striker is Nicholas Jackson. Our best goalkeeper is Petrovic, who's 5 mil. Our best centre back is Thiago Silva, who was free before the £1 billion came in. My whole point is that our squad is not built to be good now. So to expect consistent results now is totally illogical.
The only thing I'll say about Caicedo, he literally went 95% of the way there.
I know.
And this
is my point is that a coach? Is that a Poch coaching issue, or is that Caicedo not taking responsibility in that moment and saying that's my man? Because to me, that's a Caicedo issue. That's not a Poch.
Yeah. And I'm thinking this is for me. I think Caicedo is a very talented player. What you're seeing is a team full of youngsters. He made a young man's mistake, and irrespective of if he got that much money, but he was playing. Kieran, I'll just keep muting your line for you just while you're not talking because we get a bit of because you're not got earphones and we get a bit of feedback from you, bro. So when you're ready to speak, I'll mute my brat man. Sorry. You always get those kind of mistakes from young players. You get them from older players, but you get them more regularly from young players. The problem that Chelsea have is that you have too many young players making too many mistakes in games because they're all young. You throw that all together and it's an absolute disaster. You put Caicedo in a more experienced team right now, a top team even, he will make some mistakes, but because the overarching team is performing better, is better gelled together, they won't stand out as much. The problem is they really protrude. I don't necessarily think, again, him and Enzo had anything. I don't think they had a shocking game, but it was another game where together, it was just okay. And I just wanted to ask your opinions as Chelsea fans on, is another midfield player needed? Do you need to go out and buy a more experienced and older midfield player to help these kids? Because people keep saying when Lavia comes back, it'll be better. But all I see there is another young player.
It won't be better. It won't be better.